Do your thing.
Hey, let's get it on, everybody. Coming up on The Sweat, guess what? We just witnessed the worst NFL head coaching debut in the history of sports. So we're going to dive into that. Yeah, 4 rookie head coaches won on Sunday. The 5th couldn't hack it. Oh, my God. Okay, we also have PGA Tour best bets. What's cooking in the land of Rainmakers football? Quite a bit. Chirag Hero will be here in studio live. So will these two. Jared Carrabis and Steve Buchanan. It's the takeoff, and we're leading off with said takeoff after the 30-second show open. Yeah, baby, top of the morning. Let's go. Hop in, buckle up. It's the takeoff with Jared Carrabis and Steve Buchanan today. Welcome. How are you?
I don't want to take away from his segment. I was asked to come on, but this is his segment. So.
I mean, this is our segment now.
You
totally our segment.
You love baseball. You love baseball. Two
Yeah.
bros who love baseball. So I'd like to start this show off, this segment off, with maybe some of these rules that Major League Baseball has decided to implement here. Rule changes for the 2023 season. So we got a pitch clock. Yeah, baby. 15-second timer when the bases are empty. 20 seconds when runners are on. The shifts. No more. You got to have a minimum of 4 players on the infield with at least 2 guys completely on either side of second base. Bigger bases, too. Increasing from 15 inches square, to 18 inches for player safety, of course.
I can tell Howie did the graphics today.
What? No, that doesn't look bad.
Pitch
Come on,
clock,
let's not crap on Howie right now. It's early. We're 1 minute into this thing. There was a smorgasbord of reactions on social media, also coming from players and managers out there. So, Jared, what was your immediate reaction when these rules were released?
I'm here to tell you right now, I don't care.
Yeah!
I don't care.
Stephen A. Smith.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm interested to see what becomes of baseball with the banning of defensive shifts.
Okay.
It's more. It's not like I love it. It's not like I hate it. It's more just like I'm intrigued to see what happens. Like it's a case study for me. I want to see how it goes. The pitch clock. It just sounds like that's just going to irritate everyone.
Why would that irritate? It's not going to irritate the fans.
Yeah, no, it's not going to irritate the fans. I mean, the whole thing for me is, and I kind of came to know this year a little bit. You want to like cut down whatever it is, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 23 minutes, I think is the whatever.
So here it is, just to answer your question. According to minor league data, it's about 26 minutes.
26 minutes.
That's a big number.
Yeah, so, but then there were some games this year that started at like 6:35-ish, and I was like, this works for me. Like the pace of play, like people that are like sitting. Yeah, like if you just, like the whole thing for me was when the game ends, I can still like watch a movie before I go to bed. Like if you're watching a baseball game, it's almost like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and I'm committing the rest of my night to this. Like this is what I'm doing tonight. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to feel that way. So if you start them earlier and then you have like a shorter, you want less time in between action, and I think you're gonna get it this way.
Okay, which one do you like the most, Steve? Do these all make sense to you?
They all make sense. There's also, you can only throw to first base a number of times. I think it's 3 times, 2
Twice.
times. So that's going to be interesting because after the second time, like, wouldn't you naturally be ready to take off?
So if you're allowed like 2 like stoppages. So like you can step off or you can throw over up to 2 times. But if let's just say there's a runner on first base and you've already thrown over twice and you think he's going, if you throw over, you have to get him out. Because if he gets back safely, he's awarded second base.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you could see some like the offensive strategy maybe change a little bit.
Big time.
Try to get some of these pitchers to bite.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did like the most, and I tweeted at DraftKings Sportsbook to get this up, was to give me the odds on Joey Gallo to lead the league in hits now the defensive shifts is going to be done.
Ooh.
They didn't do that because they know they're going to lose a ton of money. So the DraftKings Sportsbook are being a bunch of cowards right now by not putting that line up because that's going to be next year's winner.
Okay, Jared, did you know football's back?
Nah.
All right, anyone who was dialed into the NFL on Sunday missed one of the best games of the year, really, between the Braves and the Mariners. We'll get to that in just a second. But you seem very passionate here when fans decide to tell you on Twitter that they moved on to football. So please take this time right now to express yourself about football being back.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I have 9 TVs in my living room.
It's true, and you can see them from the Target next to Fenway if you go up there.
I have 9 TVs. So anyone that's like, oh, bro, football's back. How you watching baseball right now? Football's back. First of all, I have 9 TVs. I can watch whatever I want to watch whenever I want to watch it, all at the same time. By the way, all 9 TVs all had baseball games on it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
So
like,
you just,
I'll
do
check
you just
into
not
football.
like football? a whole
No, I
lot?
like football. I will check into football once baseball's over. But for right now, it's still baseball season. September baseball, there's plenty of pennant races that are going on right now. October baseball is the most exciting time of the year. October is the best month of the year. Would you agree?
Fall's my favorite season, so October is obviously in the heart of fall, or the early
MLB
portion
playoffs,
of it. Costumes and candy,
Halloween,
pumpkins,
football,
baseball,
Horror movies.
hockey's back,
horror
right?
movies. Yeah, it'll be there eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
The people that bother me the most are the ones that are like, bro, football's on. Why are you tweeting about baseball? First of all I do is tweet about baseball. Would you go to Home Depot and be like, why don't they sell cars here? What the hell? Like, dude, you're in Home Depot. We have wood. That's like, why would you tweet at me and say, why are you tweeting about baseball? Football's on.
I mean, Steve, how soon until you start the Football is Dead podcast?
Yeah, I mean, we might have to think about, we might have to, get the rights for that.
You know this paying all too well because you have to cover. This is that crossover year for you. You gotta write about baseball and football right now. So if you had 9 TVs in your house, a few of them would have to be on football.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 sports, they don't pay me double. I mean, we can discuss that. I'm doing 2 things at one time.
We're just hammering our company. Right
but
now.
just like Jared, like people, I'm posting baseball stuff and people are like, oh, no one's betting on baseball right now. Well, that is untrue. Why does everybody have to be so one-dimensional? You can watch 2 things at one time. This day and age, 2022.
9 things at one time.
9 things at one time. Stop being so one-dimensional. Like, stop.
Yeah.
We don't have to know that you're watching House of Dragons. Is that the little show you watch?
That's what we were talking about beforehand. Sorry, I'm excited about it.
So if you want to watch baseball or you want to watch football, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. This is my job, right?
Yeah. Okay, so then you were dialed in. I know you were to the Braves Mariners game, man, on
what a
Sunday.
game.
So
Were you
Atlanta.
watching it live?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, big
Dude.
Mariners guy.
So just for all the football fans watching right now who may have missed this, Atlanta's down 4 in the top of the ninth, comes back to take the lead. The Mariners in the bottom of the ninth decide to hit back-to-back taters to walk this thing off. So where would you rank Mariners Braves, Jared, among your ideal World Series matchups?
Wow, that's actually a great question.
Thank you. Our producer wrote it.
Pretty high. For me, on a personal level, pretty high. Like, those are like 2 of my favorite teams going head to head. I mean, ending the longest postseason drought in North American professional sports would be the Seattle Mariners. They're going to get there. Having the defending champion Atlanta Braves going up against that team, that'd be exciting baseball. In terms of what would be the best matchup, would that be the best matchup? No, but I mean, it's almost like in WWE.
But you would love to see it. It's near the top, I'm assuming.
A WWE comparison would be all right, you're not going to have the 2 best wrestlers in the company and that's the best WrestleMania main event. There might be 2 guys that just have great chemistry together.
Okay.
And that might create the best main event. So I feel like the Mariners and the Braves have just proven to you they have great chemistry together.
All right, Bukes. You can bet on these matchups over on the DK Sportsbook, which you really love. Braves over the Mariners, plus 6,500, while Mariners over the Braves is plus 10,000. Which bet are you taking?
So ideally, it'd be an amazing matchup if these 2 win against each other. Because what we saw, too, was for how good this Braves offense, hey, how you doing? For how good this Braves offense is, Seattle was still able to hang with this because of how good their pitching is, and that's what's gotten them so far. They have one of the best bullpens in baseball right now. They have one of the best rotations after adding our superstar stud, Luis Castillo. They have the most attractive and best baseball player in the lineup right now, Julio Rodriguez. They have everything going for them. Nobody's giving this team a chance just because they're the Seattle Mariners, but I would also say, by the way, they're also in the lead in the wild card race right now, just so they're the #1 team. But just to say, I think it's too early to tell where we are when it comes to betting on these teams because anything can happen. We never saw the Mets collapse. Well, maybe we could. We did it. The Mets collapse, the Yankees collapse. That's a whole different story. But I think if you're going to sprinkle something on that, if Seattle gets to pitching and then they start hitting in the playoffs, they go deep.
All right, Cardinals right now, though, as we go to the NL Central, Cardinals are cruising. They got an 8-game lead there, guys, and Albert Pujols plays for the Cardinals. And you and I were on the phone. We were talking on Sunday afternoon.
Emerson's trying to talk to me. I was like, dude, shut up. Pujols just hit another home run. He's like asking me these questions. I'm like, no, shut up. Like, Pujols literally just hit
and
a home run.
I'm like,
I'm trying to like craft my Pujols home run tweet. I was like, yeah, dude, all right, call you back. Bye.
I'll call you back. And then I never did. So, Pujols goes for 697. So he's passed A-Rod. He's on 4th all-time on the list right now. By the way, his latest home run, top of the night. So if you leave a Cardinals game early the rest of the year, you deserve to go to jail. But right now on the DK Sportsbook, you can see it on your screen. You can bet Pujols to reach 700 this season, minus 145. This week is the first time he hasn't been a plus money bet in this department. Steve, imagine taking him on April 5th at plus 1,800.
Right.
Like, insane. Like, is that a bet right now that you would actually jump on, Steve?
No, there's no value anymore.
Yeah,
minus
no
145, like, you need him to do this. He is going to do it. But there's no value anymore. Like, if you are a fan of baseball or if you are a fan of fun, you would have taken this already at 10-1 or 18-1 because you just want to see history being made. If you didn't take it, then obviously you don't want history to happen. Well, why would you do that? You want history to happen here in MLB. So there's no value anymore at minus 145. I'm sorry you missed the boat, okay? If you want to take it, that's fine. You're not going to get the ROI you could have at the beginning of the season, but the Cardinals are going to give Pujols every opportunity he has to break this record. Whether it's coming in late into the game, they basically get a playoff spot wrapped up, so it's not like they're in a hunt or anything and they can't afford to have him in this game. He's not going to be starting, because the DH helps, but he's not going to be starting at first base or anything. They're going to give him every pinch hit opportunity they can because, of course, they want that to happen. They want that to happen for the franchise. So should you take it now? I would not. But at this rate, if you want to make some money, because he is going to get it, minus 145, you missed the boat, but make some money.
Jared, I know how you feel about it. We talked about it like last week on the show. There's 21 games left here for him to get it done, at least, in the regular season. So I know you're excited for it. It does feel like the one thing the baseball world is united about, like right now. Everybody wants him to get this done.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is now he's hitting homers off of righties. Before, it was we'll put Albert in there. Like, in the second half of the season, I think he has like a 1,600 OPS against left-handed pitching. But now, that home run, 697 was off a righty, and it was in the 9th inning, and it was to give the Cardinals a lead. So if you're the Cardinals, you're like, all right, we're not really putting Albert Pujols out there as some sort of sideshow act just to, whack homers and chase a record. Like, he's helping us win baseball games, and we're a division leader right now. Not that they're in any threat of losing their position, but Albert is not just a guy that they send out to whack homers.
No, he's 42. He's doing this at the young, ripe age of 42. What is this, like the I am 12?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Sunday night, Brady, 45, winning his 244th career regular season game. Tom Brady. I want you guys to take sides here and make a case. So, Jared, you're going to take Pujols, Team Pujols.
Okay.
Steve, you have Brady.
Okay.
Which is more impressive at their age? What Albert Pujols is doing, or what Tom Brady is doing right now? Jared, go ahead and defend Albert Pujols. What's your case? Make it.
Albert Pujols is listed at 42 years old. He's actually probably like 48, so he's older than Tom Brady. He has to go out, and I understand that when you have all these big, huge dudes that are running out to break your ribs and you're Tom Brady, that's fine. But to get Albert Pujols' body in a position to have to face 98 miles an hour fastballs and all the breaking stuff, there has never been more talent on the pitching side of things. And Albert Pujols is statistically, I think, the best hitter in baseball. It's not like, would you say that Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
He's close, but
he's not. Albert Pujols is the best hitter in the second half in Major League Baseball, and he's doing it at the age of 53, and he's doing it against the best pitching
53?
that Major Leagues has ever seen.
Okay, Steven, young Tom Brady, 45, has nearly every record in the book, closing in on more history here. Football is an extremely physical game. He takes hits.
Yep. I would say I don't need to defend Tom Brady because we all know the resume. We all know what he's done. What I would say is most impressive about Tom Brady is that he's risking divorce and financial
ruin.
Pujols already did.
Right. Financial gluttony if Giselle just ends up having enough. So I think that's most impressive, that despite all the pushback he is getting from his family, he is still going out there, not spending time with his family and doing what he loves most. He might say family first, football second. Swap them.
All right.
It's evident.
I think I may take the side of Tom Brady on this one.
But he already got rid of his wife, Pujols, this year.
Oh,
He did.
He cleared the
Tom
way.
Brady, take notes.
He cleared the way.
All right, that's the
Wrong
takeoff,
choice.
everybody. Good stuff. We're going to poke over to the NFL and revisit whatever the hell Nathaniel Hackett decided to do last night with the Broncos.
I don't think he knows either.
He does not know. Guys, the Broncos traded 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 3 other players to acquire Russell Wilson. Then they gave him $245 million. Those are some ginormous investments to make in a quarterback, only to take the ball out of his hands with a game on the line. Dude, Denver winning last night. No, why does that, what am I looking at here? Denver lost. Why does that say, did Denver win all of a sudden? Did that change?
That would be great for my teaser.
Yeah. So anywho, 80. I'm sorry, I was confused by the score here. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm having a brain fart. 87% of the bets were on the Broncos to cover 6.5 points. 89% of the bets were on the Broncos money line. That was minus 260. Geno Smith was added to the MVP market at plus 8,000. So Nathaniel Hackett here. Julian Edlow and Jeff Pratt. I'm glad y'all are hanging out with us this morning because I have some questions about this. So Nathaniel Hackett trusting his kicker to make a 64-yard field goal. DK contributors Julian Edlow, Jeff Pratt. I have more questions for you. Jules, how does last night's results and head coaching decisions kind of impact your betting approach with Denver moving forward?
Yeah, hard to like Denver right now, given what we saw last night. The play call. I mean, the fumbles are fumbles. That's unfortunate on the goal line. But the play call, I'll never understand going to the shotgun on these like 3rd and an inch, 4th and an inch at the goal line. You're right there. Just move forward. Why do you want to make yourself start from the 5-yard line and take away your entire advantage? That's why you go for it on those plays. So I don't know about the play calling. I don't know about the penalties, the discipline that Denver had. A lot of those penalties being the play clock on offense. And then, yeah, the decision, like, what do you give all that up for to get Russell Wilson if you're going to be around, midfield or past it with a 4th and 4, 4th and 5, game on the line, all 3 timeouts in pocket? you hit a play there and move down and get a manageable 30, 40-yard field goal. That's how you win that game. And you just elect to bag all that and kick a hopeless kick. The coaching for Denver was a huge issue. That said, some people are high on Houston right now with the tie for against Indy, and this might be a spot that we see Denver blow out at home on Sunday, and the spread's coming the other way. But in terms of the outlook for the season, not good for Denver in that very competitive AFC West.
Yeah, Jeff, hey, on the flip side of that, though, maybe are you a little higher on the Seahawks after the win last night?
Absolutely. I mean, I come away from last night's game thinking the Seahawks can hang with most teams. Now, they did have some things go their way, obviously, the 2 goal line fumbles. But full disclosure, I went into Monday Night Football with the belief that Seattle would be one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst. And I come away from that game thinking, okay, I'm wrong there. There's still time for things to go downhill, and that could be Geno Smith's best performance of the season. But what if it's not? The offense ran really smoothly last night. The defense held up against one of the better offenses in the league. Yes, the Broncos did continually shoot themselves in the foot with the penalties, but the defense still looked pretty good on Seattle's side. I'm keeping that in mind when I check out the opening lines for their Week 2 matchup against San Francisco, which the Seahawks are 9.5-point underdogs in. I would be all over that after watching both of these teams play last week.
All right, well, as we all try to figure out still what the hell Nathaniel Hackett was thinking last night, let's go ahead and shift our focus now to Week 2. Let's do some DFS price check and look at some salaries for Sunday's Millie Maker contest, which, yes, there is another one available on DraftKings in the main lobby. So at quarterback right now, Jules, which guy, whose price really stands out to you?
Yeah, it's Week 2, and we already have an ugly quarterback slate here. Herbert and Mahomes are off the main slate on Thursday night. Rodgers gets the Sunday night game. We get double Monday night that has Josh Allen on it, Kirk Cousins, and Jalen Hurts. So we're didn't take long to get an ugly one. Kyler Murray, who without garbage time touchdowns is now the most expensive player on the Week 2 main slate, which is ridiculous. So I think it's a salary saver week for me. I start scrolling through there. The matchup that immediately jumps out to me is Washington-Detroit. They should put up points the way that the Lions were moving on Sunday. So you have a Carson Wentz sitting there at 5,800. You have Goff sitting there at 5,400. One of those two guys would be the guys for me, and you can stack them with a receiver that's similarly priced. So I think it's a week to save. We can pay up for a stud receiver, a stud running back to mix in there. If you're gonna make me go contrarian, I'm going Russell Wilson at 7,200 because nobody is going to want to touch that Denver offense after what we all saw on Monday Night Football. But now they're home against Houston, who I think Houston can only go backwards after a big Week 1 spot. It's kind of they got what they wanted. It almost got the Colts, but they also didn't win, so they're kind of in position for a letdown. I think maybe a contrarian Russell Wilson is the way to spend up if you do, but I'm dumpster diving here at quarterback.
All right, yeah, Jeff, let's stay in the AFC West there because Derek Carr sitting there at 6,200, and I know he had 3 interceptions. He still scored 17 fantasy points. Should play better against the Cardinals. Got torched against Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't mind Derek Carr. I think he's a solid option, but I'm actually right with Julian. The name that immediately jumps out to me is Carson Wentz at 5,800. He's coming off a huge debut. I'm sorry. I know, right? I don't think any of us thought we would be saying this after 1 week with Washington, but he's coming off a huge debut with the Commanders. He finished as QB3 on the week, and it's not much tougher of a matchup this time around against the Lions. Detroit just gave up 38 points to the Eagles, and Washington has plenty of weapons to pick them apart this week. He's the 8th highest QB on the slate in terms of price. So you're actually getting decent value, in my opinion, there. And then if you want to pay a little down, let's go right back to Geno Smith at 5,100. He's among the lowest priced starting quarterbacks on this slate. So you're saving up for another position. I don't mind that strategy this week. He was fantastic last night. They're not asking him to do too much. And the Niners defense, I understand they just played in a torrential downpour, but it doesn't look as intimidating as it has been in years past.
Jules, as we go to running back, Jonathan Taylor is $1,000 more than the next guy, and that's Christian McCaffrey. So is this going to be a spend-up spot for you, this position?
It is. Give me Jonathan Taylor, who always absolutely annihilates your Jacksonville Jaguars in a spot that the Colts aren't going to be too happy following a silly tie against the Indianapolis. He's on the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans. They had chances to win that game, similar to Denver. You kick field goals early instead of going for it. Now you win that game. And nonetheless, despite all the awfulness from Indy, Taylor still puts up whatever it was, $160 and a touchdown in the loss, gets a few targets in the passing game. So, yeah, I think this is a spot you ride Taylor in week 2, and he's got a matchup that on paper makes sense, and historically he has crushed in. So this is why I'm taking a Jared Goff with a Lions receiver and spend down on defense, because we can fit Taylor as well as some pricey players at other positions.
Jeff, who are you riding at running back?
I'm going to pay up too, and I'm going right back to that Lions-Commanders matchup. I'm taking DeAndre Swift, who comes in as the 7th highest priced running back on this week's slate, which I think is tremendous value. He was really efficient last week. He averaged 9.6 yards per carry against a pretty solid Eagles defense en route to a 26.5-point performance. The Commanders are a relatively tough matchup at first glance, but both James Robinson and Travis Etienne averaged well over 5 yards per carry against them last week. When you add in Swift's receiving upside, he's a no-brainer for me at $7K.
All right, well then at wide receiver, tons of huge names here. So there's going to be 3 guys that'll cost you at least $8,000. Cooper Kupp, a $1,300 lead in this department here. Jules, what do you want to do at wide receiver?
Yeah, so wide receiver, I think a lot of eyes are going to go to Cooper Kupp against Atlanta, and that's fine. He will get a lot of targets. If we saw anything in week 1, it's that Matt Stafford doesn't look to anybody else but Cooper Kupp. Maybe this is a week to work Allen Robinson in, but I would go to like a Darrell Henderson as like a cheaper running back to save a little salary if you're going to take a Taylor or a Swift. And then at receiver, I'm going to a guy like Devonte Adams over Kupp. The Chiefs torched that Arizona secondary, not even close. And now you have Carr and the Raiders, a hyped up team, coming off a week 1 loss in the division, and they'll want to get this one at home against Arizona. I think it's a really good spot for this Raider offense to put up some big numbers, whether Arizona can keep up or not. So big week for Devonte Adams. I think he outscores Cooper Kupp.
All right, Jeff, last week I feel like it was like the mid-range options at this position that really decided to step up for rosters on DraftKings. What do you want to do this week at wide receivers? Is this a pay-up spot again?
Yeah, once again, I am 100% with Julian. I'll opt for Devonte Adams over Cooper Kupp, too. This is where I'm comfortable paying all the way up for a receiver. Adams and Derek Carr look like they haven't missed a beat since their Fresno State days. They connected 10 times for 141 yards and a touchdown against a really tough Chargers defense. So they should have no problem carving up a Cardinals defense that was just destroyed by Patrick Mahomes last week. And then if you do want to go down to that mid to value tier range, Jarvis Landry jumps out to me at $5K. He finished as wide receiver 15 last week, emerging as Jameis Winston's favorite target, although Michael Thomas did score twice. I expect more of the same Sunday against a somewhat vulnerable Bucs secondary. Also, it's the Jameis Winston revenge game, so you know he's going to go off.
For sure, dude. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. But, yes, another friendly reminder. Get in on the Millie Maker Sundays, main slate, $20 is all it's going to cost you to get in. $1 million to first place, plus a Tournament of Champions semifinal ticket. Get after it right now. Coming up after this special message from Kevin Hart, we're going to dive even deeper into the DK Rainmakers with Chirag Hira.
Lamar, Zeke, Stephon, you've all been summoned to the Kevin-verse.
You gotta be kidding me.
You're here because you're on my DraftKings Rainmakers fantasy team.
I liked him better when he was tiny.
Lamar, keep talking and I'll put you on a tiny bench. I've collected your digital player cards, and you're gonna help me build my NFT fantasy franchise so I can start crushing the competition. I need you all at 100%. Zeke, you're gonna catch a cold in that crop top. Maybe you should consider putting your belly button away. Hey, Lamar, you getting enough sleep? I seen you posting pictures in the club.
You stalking me?
Diggs, you gotta keep your hands moist so they stay soft. Nice and moist.
Please stop saying moist.
We done here, man.
Well, go ahead. There's the exit. Ha!
Build a roster by opening packs and joining drops and win a share of over $1 million in prizes every week of the NFL season. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app to get your free full roster starter pack. DraftKings Rainmakers Football. Build, play, win.
All right, so we have more questions here, and Chirag here, our DraftKings content manager, in studio to answer them. So my first one, as we start off talking Rainmakers, my guy, what are some of the recent drops people can check out right now on the marketplace?
Well, the first one to look at is the Pixel Playmakers drop. This one is pretty important because there's some fantastic utility that is involved with this one. As you can see here, this Pixel Playmakers, it's a volume 2. So basically what is provided here is we have a lot of different opportunities for you to really get all the information that you need from DK Nation, because what we'll do is break down all the exact details of this Pixel Playmakers drop. It's a exclusive primetime drop, so the goal here is to provide you with contests, prizes, crowns, whatever you need if you get this drop.
All right, dude. Of course, you can always purchase cards, right, on the secondary market to fill out your lineup. So whose week 1 performance, I need to know this, impacted the price of their collectible this week?
Well, before we jump into the week 1, let's talk about Momentum. That is the other drop that we are having this week. Momentum is the newest card set on the marketplace. The reason why this is important, this is our in-season drop. So basically you can come here and get the most updated checklist of all the players that are available in the NFL. What's important about these ones as well is that you can get handcuffs, sleepers, everything that is needed from that aspect. That is the reason why the Momentum drop is on the marketplace. Elevate is down, the Genesis is down. The only way to crack a pack right now is to get into the Momentum drop.
Okay, dude. So now take me to that week 1 performance. Who's really stood out to you and impacted the price on their collectible?
Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
His card, his legendary card sold for $5,000.
Damn.
Yeah, that's really important because he went off against the Packers, and he is expected to go off this season. Overall, I really think Justin Jefferson is one of those guys that you need to look into. Currently, this Elevate, we have different prices, rare, elite, and going on, but the legendary one I wanted to show you here. The reason why it's important, the floor price on this one now, $7,950, so you cannot even get it for $5,000. The person that scooped it up got a really good deal on this Justin Jefferson card. Amazing, amazing price, because this player is potentially going to be the offensive player of the year. I think he has a really good shot at it, and his card value is just going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
But other people that we need to talk about, Will Dissly.
Wait, what? Will Dissly?
Yes, the reason why we have to talk about Will Dissly is he caught that touchdown last night. His rare card is only $30, but as we can see here, this is actually a 158% increase in his card value. So after that performance last night, he had a huge spike in the value of his card. But the person that's trending down, Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be out a couple months, right?
Exactly. And you look at his rare card, he's almost as much as Will Dissly itself. So as we can see here, Dak Prescott, his card value is down substantially. CeeDee Lamb also down with him. So these are the ones that you're going to want to look at as the floor falls on Dak Prescott. Out 6 to 8 weeks. We're not exactly sure when he's going to return. They said potentially after the bye week, maybe a little bit before that. So potentially look at Dak Prescott before he comes back, because I think that this number is going to fall a little bit more.
Yeah, just don't expect anything out of him in week 2, right? But who is a player you think could have a week 2 performance, a solid one, who could increase their price on the secondary market?
So Justin Jefferson has been going up.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, another person that I was considering because it's a Monday night showdown. But the player that I want to highlight, Devonte Adams, he had a huge target share. Even with Waller and Renfro there, Devonte Adams is the person you need to consider. Playing against the Cardinals, one of the top over-unders for the slate. Devonte Adams, elite, core, rare, whichever one you're looking at, He's going to be a wide receiver 1, and he's going to be scoring a lot of fantasy points this year. So this is a player that I would want to look at for week 2 and potentially for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Chirag, and I know this is a lot of like content that we just discussed. And anyone who is new and is watching this and is more interested in learning a little bit more about Rainmakers, you guys have tons of content over on DK Nation. So what's new on the site this week about Rainmakers? You got to help me out.
So the one thing that's really, really, really important, I had Reed break down this article. So basically, this is a week 1 contest recap. So as you can see here, we are having a breakdown of all the ones that people won. So this is the people that won in the World Championship contest. There's opportunities to see what field featured player contests were also won in here, but that's not it. We're also breaking down on DK Nation all the different types of content. The week 1 injuries move. So we mentioned Dak Prescott, but also Keenan Allen was hurt. Elijah Mitchell was hurt. So we had our friends over at Lucky Trader break down all the different news and notes and injuries and how that's going to impact their player cards on DK Nation. So you want to go over there. The rest of the week, we'll also have another slate preview from Reed, and then our friends over at Lucky Trader will also break down all the different cards you need to consider for the slate.
All right, Chirag, good stuff, man. Appreciate you helping us out with that. I also appreciate Steve Buchanan returning to studio right now for a live edition of What's in the Hat. But you can't play this alone. Oh, no.
I need my friend.
Oh, no. Yes, you do. Gary and Thorne joining us virtually. And let's remind everybody, they're just first off,
He's so
how
happy.
happy and handsome he is. And the hair on his face.
Nice teeth.
But if we could pop the rules just back up real quick for everybody at home. We pick a name out of the hat here. We pick a name out of the hat. You two put them into one of these 4 categories for the night. But also, you two both have a pass. So like if you pick a player you don't like, maybe you want to force the other dude to stuff that man inside a category. Okay.
Oh, can I pick?
No, I don't know. I don't know if that's right. Like,
Who
Gary,
cares?
how do you feel about Steve selecting some names?
I'd say let Steve pick. I have no problem with that. If you're worried that I think there's some sort of like tomfoolery afoot here, I don't. I trust Steve.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, that's your first problem is trusting Steve, but okay.
Well, if Gary was here and I wasn't, I'd let him pick.
Well, you're a great guy.
I know.
All right, pick the first one.
Okay. Is this for me or for him?
Wait. Who won last week?
Steve won.
Steve won last week, so you'll go first. This is for you. Actually, I should pick for you and you pick for Gary.
Fine. Yep.
This is the one you had in your hands. Jacob deGrom. He's a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, this is going to go in the 0 spot for me. With the 2 in front of it. Did I fool everybody, you think? I think I really got everybody.
I was like,
out.
hey, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, look, I don't really have to explain why Jacob deGrom should be in the 20 spot, but to be fair, I mean, I am an analyst, so I will do that.
Yeah,
the Cubs have literally been one of the worst offenses in the month of September. They've scored the least amount of runs in the league. That's even below the Miami Marlins, which is really special for you to do that. You can't outscore the Marlins so far. 30 total runs scored this month. That's the worst in the league. Obviously, deGrom has the highest upside of almost any pitcher in the league, striking out over 13 batters per 9 inning. Put him in the 20 spot. Absolute layup. Thank you, Garen, for putting him in the pool. Now we pick for Gary.
All right, Gare Bear. Wow, man, had a big one first time around.
Right.
Who does he have right now? Which category will he be going
Justin Turner.
William Turner, Justin Turner. Gare Bear, where you want to put him?
So Turner has been fantastic since the beginning of July. He's hitting over 350 in that span of time. He's got a 177 WRC plus since July 1st, but at the same time, there's so many talented players in this hat today. I think I have to put him in 0 DraftKings points.
What?
Wow.
He's got one of the toughest matchups on this slate going up against Merrill Kelly. Kelly's got a 2.35 ERA since the All-Star break. He's really been one of the major reasons the Diamondbacks have been one of the hottest teams in baseball the last 6 weeks. So just based on the strength of the hat and based on Merrill Kelly's presence, I'm actually going to put Justin Turner in the 0 DraftKings point category.
Dude, you are shocked. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I kind of got a sneak peek at what's in here beforehand. It sounds like
I hope so. You're hosting the show. You need to know these things.
Yeah, exactly. I just want everyone to know I really prep hard for this show. Yeah. There are some huge names in it. Like this dude, Ken Waldechuck.
Right.
Oh, wait, you're not excited all of a sudden?
So this is a tough one because He's got some really good numbers. He's had some really good numbers in the minors. Came over from the Yankees. Now, obviously, with Oakland in AAA, was striking out over 13 batters per 9 innings, which is like Jacob deGrom-esque. In the minors, when he was with the Yankees, came over to the Oakland, only pitched 10 2/3 innings. 18 2/3 with Oakland. Was striking out over 10 per 9 innings here. I'm going to put him in the 10 spot. I'll be kind of safe about this one here. I'm still not convinced that he's going to continue to have the success that he has in the majors. We haven't seen enough of him so far, but his schedule has just been so easy so far. That's been the point here. So I'll put him in the 10 spot to be somewhat conservative here, but against the Rangers tonight, it's certainly not a bad spot.
All right, your top 2 points categories have been filled up. Where's Gare Bear going to go next? It all depends on who Steve pulls out of the hat.
Eloy Jimenez.
Oh, Garion. Hey, no, don't do that.
Why? Billy doesn't mind.
I thought it looked pretty cool.
That's what I thought. Like that
was a nice
three-dimensional.
toss. It started flipping. Okay, that wasn't bad.
So I got to say, big mistake letting Steve pick these. This is not going well so far. There's only one pitcher left in the hat who you kind of want to save that 20 DraftKings point spot for, but I don't know if I'm even going to get him. I mean, Eloy's in a great spot tonight. He's really been hitting incredibly well since coming off the IL. One of the very few White Sox players who's kind of been able to stay healthy the past 6 weeks. And he's also going up against Chad Kuhl. And I know this game isn't in Colorado, but Kuhl has not needed to pitch at altitude to be terrible this season. In fact, his last 5 starts, he's faced 50 right-handed batters. They are slugging .978 with a WOBA above 600. They're averaging 6 home runs per 9. So I'm going to put Eloy in the 10 DraftKings point spot.
Ooh. Okay. All right. It's your decision. Go ahead.
5-0.
Steven, Jordan Montgomery. You both still have a pass as well.
I see. Here's the thing. It's like I really like Garion, but I could really mess him up by doing this. So I'm going to mess him up.
Yeah.
It's mess up Tuesday. We're going to give him Jordan Montgomery, and he's going to put him in a bad spot. And it's a great matchup too. That's the worst part. It's such a good matchup.
All right.
What? You don't think it is? He made a funny face.
That's just a
shocked here. This is a gift. I mean, there was no one else on this board who could score 20 DraftKings points. Jordan Montgomery can score 20 DraftKings points. He's been absolutely incredible.
Oh, did you not know, Steve, that he had 20 left open? Were you not paying attention to that? Again,
I was like, oh my God, Steve's gonna have all the pitchers in all the burning point spots. This is amazing. I mean, Jordan Montgomery, 1.45 ERA since he's been with the Cardinals. Incredible stuff. I mean, he's been fantastic. Not a huge strikeout guy per se. However, the Brewers, 3rd highest strikeout rate against left-handed pitching in baseball. I mean, this is a great spot for Jordan Montgomery. As you can see, he's already dominated them once with the Cardinals. So, I mean, I reached out an olive branch. I let Steve pick names out of the hat, and then Steve returns the favor by gifting me Jordan Montgomery. So I really gotta thank you, Steve.
I'm your friend. See, look at that. Look, all chippy. Look, there he is.
Okay.
All chippy. Yep.
Oh, Chippy Buchanan.
Yep.
Who is that? Your great-grandfather?
Your
great-great-grandfather.
I think that's my dad. I haven't seen him in a long time. So
yeah, no, because he's dead. That's why. All right.
That's so terrible.
It happens, bro. Elaine Thomas, this is your guy.
Yeah, Elaine Thomas.
Oh, wait. You just handed us off to Gary, and so you do go now.
Okay, yeah. So Elaine Thomas, I have no issue with this. I'll put him in the 5 spot. Good spot for him here. Elaine Thomas. It's funny. The Nationals get rid of their best hitters, and now they're actually like an offensive juggernaut in the month of September. Elaine Thomas, though, averaging over 11 DraftKings fantasy points over his last 10 games. He's been like a massive source of power for the Nationals, which is funny to say now when you remember that they got rid of Josh Bell and Juan Soto, going up against Dean Kremer, who really started hot in the first half of the season, has tailed off dramatically since then, has some issues with home runs. So, yeah, give me Elaine Thomas. Dirt cheap tonight, 2,700, which is absurd when I mention how good he's been hitting over the past 10 games. 3 doubles, a home run, a 777 RBI in that span. 5, that's an easy one.
Garion, you still have the 5 points category left. Bukes, you have 0. Gare Bear, you still have your pass available as well.
Now, here's the scary part.
What is this?
I could pull Julio Rodriguez and have to put him in the 0 spot, and that's just not on brand. That's not on brand at all.
What do you got?
Michael Harris.
Oh.
For Garion. Let's try this again. Ready? How was that? Does that look good? Not as good as
I mean, look, there are really only talented hitters left.
Yeah. Yep.
So Steve's gonna have a hard time putting anyone in the 0 DraftKings point spot. You know what? I'm gonna keep Michael Harris and say he scores 5 DraftKings points tonight. I mean, look, this guy, you could make the case he's one of the best hitters of right-handed pitching in all of baseball. I'm not even gonna preface that by saying he's one of the best rookies hitting right-handed pitching in baseball. No, one of the best hitters, straight up. He has a 297 isolated power and a 171 WRC plus against right-handed pitching this season. I don't know where the Braves find these guys. I don't know what their development system is like, but oh my God, do they just produce studs? And right now, I mean, choosing between Michael Harris and Spencer Strider for National League Rookie of the Year, I don't envy voters because it's ridiculous how good those two guys are. So I think he can easily get 5 DraftKings points tonight against Jake Junis. But, he's fine. That's the best thing I can say about Jake Junis. He's fine.
Okay, now we need to preface this. You are not going to try to find Julio Rodriguez's name.
I'm not trying to find anything.
You need to close your eyes and actually pick like a human.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Don't stop
Hold
looking. Stop looking. If you pick Julio Rodriguez, I'm not answering. I'm leaving.
My eyes are closed. Who do I pick? It's Julio Rodriguez!
Okay, not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah!
I'm not putting on the zero spot. I don't care.
My
Billy.
eyes were closed.
Look, we're going to go backstage. Follow me out the studio. I'm not doing it. No, that's my guy. That's my guy, and I'm not doing that. He's a stud on the field, in person, human. Not doing it.
Julio Rodriguez.
Did Steve just shoot like a WWE promo?
Come follow me. Look, we're going to go down to the kitchen. I'm going to get a snack. We're going down here. I'm not putting Julio Rodriguez in.
Unbelievable. What is happening right now?
No.
Yeah,
I'm not
Julio Rodriguez, Steve says, will score 0 fantasy points tonight.
We'll go. I'm not doing it.
No, you don't, Jared Carabas.
That's as far as you go.
All right.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
What the hell is happening right now? But we are officially bumping out WWE promos now. Oh my God, Gary, and have a good one, dude. I'm fairly confident you're going to win this week.
I also tried to walk into my hallway, but my computer didn't follow me, so.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We're going to talk some PGA Tour to wrap this show up, some best bets after the lengthy 2-week off season. Hey, the legendary Fortinet Championships this week, but some changes to keep in mind, folks, for this PGA Tour season. Awesome changes, by the way. Top players are going to be in at least 20 tournaments, 12 elevated events. There's going to be fat purses of at least $20 million. So the FedEx Cup playoffs, that field down from 125 to 70, and thank the high heavens, the tour is going to return to a calendar year schedule starting in 2024. Give these guys actually a decent break instead of just 2 weeks here. So DK contributor Jeff Ulrich has joined us. The Action Network's Jason Sobel is back as well. Man, we haven't seen you in forever, Jason. Thanks for returning here. What's your favorite change? Like the rule changes here that the PGA Tour is implementing. There's some big ones here. Which one is at the top of your list?
Okay, so there's a lot to dive into here, Emerson. First of all, we all know why these changes are being made. Players are being pulled away to live golf, and so they have to pay the big-time players more money, and so that's essentially what they're doing. More elevated events, more money out there, more no-cut events. It sort of looks a little like live, but hey, they've got to do what they've got to do. These are trying times for the PGA Tour. The worst part about this is for the fans, this is fracturing golf. You're not going to see the best players playing against the other best players on a regular basis, or at least have the opportunity to see that like we have on a regular basis for a long time now. That said, the one rule change that I really like the best for the fans is the fact that only 70 players will make the playoffs, which means fewer players keeping their card every year, means more turnover. It means that we as the fans should see a better product on the golf course year in, year out, because we're getting the best players sort of moving on to the highest level on a regular basis. So I think that's going to help. But if I was a player, if I was Rory McIlroy, if I was Justin Thomas, if I was John Rahm, I'd say those big checks. That might be my favorite part.
Okay, Jeff, yeah, you'd be a nincompoop to not admit that the LIV Tour has had some kind of impact on these positive changes. Which one do you like?
I refuse to admit it. I mean, come on. It's all thought out well in advance. But no. Yeah, look, like obviously lots of changes coming. You know, we still have some big events that are going to get announced. Like they haven't announced 3 of the elevated events or whatever. But for all the changes, I think just from a fan perspective and for DFS perspective, I think that the change to what Jason mentioned was only the top 70 getting into the FedEx Cup playoffs, and then just kind of getting rid of like the whole fall swing in terms of how it's set up right now is going to be the most interesting part. You're going to have a more condensed playoffs. It's going to be tighter. Like I think the biggest thing with the players, there's so many people in that first 2 events. It's just like, let's just get on with it. And that's what the new format's going to do. And then in the fall, you're going to have a lot of jockeying around. Like those events are still going to be important. There's some big money events in there as well, I believe. But, you know, you're going to see a lot of guys in the 150 to 75 range. They're all going to be jockeying for cards next year. It's actually going to be super interesting. You know, right now we have like the Corn Ferry finals. They don't really get much coverage, but that's a big event for a lot of players. I'm really actually excited to see the new fall format. It's not going to count for points, which is good because it's going to make it a lot easier to keep track of too, but it's still going to be exciting. So all around, I like these changes from the schedule perspective and from the playoffs the most.
Yeah, one that I feel like kind of flew under the radar too. I think the Tour Championship, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jason, Tour Championship has some extra juice. I think you get a 2-season PGA Tour exemption for any pros who make it there.
Yeah, that's a little nicer. There's always been a nice perk of making the Tour Championship get into 3 of the 4 majors the next year, so they're trying to ramp that up. You now get into the Tournament of Champions at Kapalua as well. Always take a trip to Maui if they're giving it out.
Let's go, dude. Well, I mean, we should take our show on the road. Imagine, them sending us out there just for this Tuesday segment every week. Sure.
Let's go.
Sign me up. Reed's mom lives up there, so we could like crash with her. All right, let's get into the Fortinet Championship now in Napa. Love it, wine country. So last year's winner, Max Homa here, guys, is the favorite at plus 1,000 on the DK Sportsbook. Jason, behind him you have Corey Connors, Hideki, Mav McNeely, Cam Davis rounding out the top 5. Who is worth their odds at the top of the board?
Okay, so you were very careful there to say top 5 and not top 6.
Yep.
And so I'll save that 6th guy for a little bit later. I'll deal with the top 5 right now. 4 of these 5 at the top, as you see those names right there, are going to Quail Hollow in Charlotte next week across the country to play in the President's Cup. Last year, there was one player who played the Fortinet Championship and then went over the Ryder Cup. That was John Rahm. John Rahm essentially checked out as soon as he got there, missed the cut, went over the Ryder Cup, had a great Ryder Cup, but did not play well at the Fortinet. I don't expect really any of these guys to play well. I'm fading the top of the board. If I have to take one of these guys in that top 5, I'm taking the one that's not playing the President's Cup, and that's Maverick McNeely, who was runner-up last year.
Interesting strategy there, Jeff. What's yours here in the top 5?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for DFS too, it's like, you could definitely make lineups without these guys and maybe just do the fade, the whole narrative. I mean, that's how you could build the lineups. But for betting, I mean, I don't hate this spot for Hideki, if I'm going to be dead honest, plus 1,600. I mean, I think that you look at where he is with McNeely and Homa being, the favorite. And he's the defending champ. He's won like 4 times now over the past 3 years, I think it is. So he's a prolific winner. I'm not suggesting he doesn't deserve to be up there, but like Hideki is Hideki. I mean, I think that you're getting like obviously a major championship winner. You're probably getting a little bit of a discount. I think in a lot of years he would just be the favorite here if he had a bit more solid end to the year. So I don't really hate the odds on him. I wish Maverick McNeely's odds were a little bit bigger as well. I think I was on him at like 80 to 1 here last year, and he blew it on the back 9. But he certainly sets up well as a West Coast guy. It's just, I think with Hideki, you're kind of getting like the best value of the group there. Plus 1,600, he's only the second favorite. I think a lot of years he would be like the main favorite in a field like this.
All right, Jason, I know why you reference like the top 6, because the next guy outside the top 5 is a dude here who you have been tweeting about quite a bit, Mr. Theegala. So why are you so high on this guy right now?
Yeah, you caught on to that subtle little hint that I was giving you there, Emerson. Wow,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't believe you got that one.
I know. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm on top of it today.
I'm telling you, Sahith Theegala, he's going to be all everything. This kid is a superstar in the making. I see him sort of on the same trajectory, the same emergence as Scottie Scheffler last year. I'm not saying he's going to win the Masters, not saying he's going to be number one in the world by this point next year, but I am saying he's going to win soon, and he's very likely going to win multiple times on the PGA Tour over the next 11 months this coming season. He's just that good. I'm a massive Theegala fan. I like him this week. He's my favorite play on the board. He opened at 35-1 in the DraftKings Sportsbook. I was all over that by about an hour, 2 hours later after the odds came out. He'd already dipped back to about 28-1. He's holding steady right around there right now. But I do love Theegala this week. I think he's criminally underpriced in the marketplace, especially against these types of inferior fields moving forward. Until the books change, I'm going to stay on him. I'm going to ride that bandwagon.
Jeff Ulrich had to take a cold shower when he saw his dude, Chris Kirk, there in mid-tier range at plus 5,000, huh?
I don't know. I mean, Chris Kirk's probably going to finish T28 again. I mean, yeah, I guess that's pretty good for my guys. But look, there's two players this fall season. Well, there might actually be more than two. But in this field, there's two young players that I'm really interested in targeting. I'm going to be targeting them all fall until they win. Jason just talked about one in Theegala. I agree. I mean, maybe I'm not quite as bullish as Jason, but like you at 28-1, yes, bet him in these fall events. I mean, what did we see? He almost won twice last year. The other guy though is Davis Riley at plus 3,500. Absolutely, the talent is there. I mean, this guy obviously lost in a playoff to Sam Burns, 5 top 10s in his rookie season. Now, like Theegala too, these guys are going to see the course the second time. I think that the upside is the limit for Davis Riley as well. He's very strong off the tee. Gained over 1.5 strokes off the tee in 6 events last year. I think that with just the setup of Silverado, obviously favoring kind of guys who are long and straight. We saw it with Homa, even Stewart Cink, and then going back to Champ as well. I think if Riley just comes in a little bit rested, because he did look a little fatigued at the end of last year, but that rest helps him. If the driver's back, I think Davis Riley at plus 3,500 is just really, really good number that we're getting. I certainly, like Jason, I went out and bet him right away. And I think you should be betting both these guys. I mean, again, not just this event. Doesn't happen this week. Stay on them. They're too good not to break through soon.
All right, guys, before I get your pick to win, quickly, which long shots do you like this week? Jason, who stands out?
So I came into the week, did all my research on Sunday night while watching some Sunday night football and seeing the Bucs trounce the Cowboys. That's when I'm doing my studying. Didn't write down the names Webb Simpson or Harris English, and yet when I got up Monday morning and saw the odds that had come out, all of a sudden they got onto my card because Webb Simpson, a proven winner, not playing his best golf recently, but 65-1 is a massive number. Same number as guys like Alex Smalley and Wyndham Clark. Play Webb Simpson at that number. And then Harris English, who was on the Ryder Cup team just a year ago. I get it. He's dealt with some injuries, but he's come back. He's played some decent golf. He's 150-1. Play Harris English at 150-1.
All right, give me your long shot.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with Harris English at 150-1. He was like 8th in the world like a year ago or something. So definitely take advantage of that. I'm not going to go super crazy here. There's a couple guys I could mention, but I'm going to try and keep my credibility good early in the season. Justin Suh at plus 6,000. He obviously just won the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. West Coast kid. I think these odds are great. He was plus 3,300 at the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. This field isn't that much better. And then Trey Mullinax, my guy here at plus 6,000 again. Keep playing Trey Mullinax. He's so confident. He's really good off the tee too. I like this setup for him. Those are two guys in the plus 6,000 range. I'm definitely targeting here.
All right, your pick to win the Fortinet Championship. And Jason, why is it Theegala again?
It's Theegala because he's really, really good at golf.
Love it.
He's the best player in this field. I mean, it's just,
that is,
I don't know what to tell you. I can't say anything
fine.
more. He's just really good. He's going to win a lot, and it starts this week.
All right, grade A analysis right there. Jeff Ulrich, quickly, please.
I mean, unfortunately for Jay, it's not going to be this week because Davis Riley's going to win this week. Theegala maybe next week, and we'll get on him. But I like Davis Riley for a lot of the same reasons Jason likes his guy.
All right, good stuff.
Theegala in California, Riley when we get back to the Southeast. Riley at the RSM.
Okay.
All right, dudes.
I'm going to bet them both, so I'm good either way.
Stop talking. Our producer's upset. We have to get off by noon because Mad